Oh, hey there. So I want to talk to you about the seventh church in the book of Revelation. Okay, so this is in Revelation chapter 3. John is writing this, and he writes about 7 churches. They were real places. I've been there, okay? But the last one is Laodicea, and a lot of people believe that that symbolizes the time that we're living in, okay? So I'm sure you've probably seen memes where people say things like, if Paul was around today, we'd be getting a letter. Not wrong. We would be getting a letter. And this is pretty much what it is, okay? So this is to the church in Laodicea, which was a real place. I'm going to get to that in just a second. Okay. It says, I know your deeds, that you're neither cold nor hot. I wish you were either one or the other. So because you are lukewarm, neither hot nor cold, I'm about to spit you out of my mouth, or vomit you out of my mouth. You say I am rich, I have acquired wealth and do not need a thing, but you do not realize that you are wretched, pitiful, poor, blind, and naked. I counsel you to buy from me gold refined in the fire, so you can become rich, and white clothes to wear, so you can cover your shameful nakedness, and salve to put on your eyes, so you can see. Those whom I love, I rebuke and discipline, so be earnest and repent. Here I am, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come in and eat with him and he with me. To him who overcomes, I will give the right to sit with me on my throne, just as I overcame and sat down with my Father on his throne. He who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the churches. Okay, this is what's interesting about Laodicea, because like I said, I've been there. It was a trading city, and so merchants would have to come through there, and of course the city would collect a tariff, a tax, a fee, whatever, from everybody that bought and sold and traded all day long, which was massive amounts. And they were so rich, okay, they knew that they were rich. They were so rich that there was a huge earthquake that hit that entire region of the world, okay? And when this happened, Rome, who was in charge of Laodicea at the time, was like, look, we've got disaster relief funds available. They're allocated for this very reason. We can help you to rebuild your city, whatever. And this is what Laodicea said. They said, no thanks, we're Laodicea. We don't need your money. We'll rebuild our own city on no credit. We've got cash to pay for that. Thanks very much, keep your money. We don't need it. That's how rich and cocky they were, okay? But Jesus says, you don't realize that you're wretched, pitiful, poor, blind, and naked. You're like, that's kind of some harsh words there. But they thought, we're rich and we don't need anything. We don't need you. Are you kidding me? Do you know who we are? We're rich. We're Laodicea. Now, this is also interesting. It says, you're neither hot nor cold. And because you're neither, I wish that you were one or the other. But because you're neither, I'm going to spit you out of my mouth. I'm going to vomit you out of my mouth. Now, here's what's interesting, okay? If you go to one side, 15, 20 miles away, whatever it is exactly, there's Colossae. Okay, now Colossae had glaciers and mountains and runoff. So it was cold water coming down, very cold water. But they piped it in to Laodicea, and by the time they got there, it was lukewarm. Also, Hierapolis was the other direction, not that far away. And there were hot springs that are beautiful, okay? I've been there myself. I've been in these hot springs. I swam in these hot springs, and they're beautiful. And they're hot, and they're healing powers and all kinds of things, right? They piped that water in to Laodicea. By the time it got to them, it was lukewarm. So all the water that they had, even though they were so rich, was like, oh, this cold water, lukewarm. This hot water, hot spring water, lukewarm. Neither one of them was enjoyable, and everybody there knew it. Okay. Also, they were known for eye salve. In fact, they were the only people known for eye salve. And yet Jesus says, come to me and buy salve for your eyes so that you can see. And they're like, who do you think you're talking to? And he's like, come and buy clothes from me to cover your nakedness. They were known for selling clothes, right? Like he was hitting all their triggers. He was like, you think you're all that? You're not. But, okay, we are in that time right now. Okay, this was a real city. But if we're looking historically at the church, that is the time that we're in right now. Is a time where we think we're rich. We think, what are you going to do for us? We don't need you. We don't even need God. Like, who do you think you are talking to us? You best step off, bro. And he's like, you think you're all that? let me tell you what. But after all those things that he says, I stand at the door and knock. Whoever will open the door, whoever. This is not specific. Like if you're wondering, do I fall in that category? Yes, you do. Whoever will open up the door, when Jesus is knocking at your door, he will come in and eat with them, and they will eat with him. What an honor to have God at your table. He's bringing the food anyway, right? And then he says, he who overcomes, I will let him sit on my throne with me. That's a pretty big deal. That's the time that we're living in, okay? That is the time that we're living in. We could be rich and cocky and difficult and not choose a side. And we think that by not choosing a side that we're not making a decision, but we are making a decision. We're neither hot nor cold. And there is no in between. And I don't know that enough people emphasize this, okay? I know that the Catholic Church, and when I grew up, I thought this too. People told me, I was just like, oh, okay, yeah, whatever. That there's heaven, there's hell, and there's purgatory, right? There's the really bad people go to hell and the really good people go to heaven. And then purgatory is kind of like, not that good, not that bad. Maybe you get purged, maybe it takes a couple 100 years. Maybe somebody prays you out of there. Maybe somebody pays some indulgences or something like that and gets you out of there, okay? Then I read the Bible for myself. I'm like, where's purgatory? It's nowhere in here because we have to choose a side. And by not choosing a side, we are choosing a side. We need to follow God with our whole heart. And then he'll be like, you have overcome this present evil darkness. Come and sit on my throne with me. Come and rule with me. What an honor. We have that opportunity now. Jesus is knocking at the door of your heart. Open up that door. Love you guys.